brought to you by Race Tech and their gold valves and their engine services. And we are watching Levi Kitchen, who has now become the star of American amateur motocross and living up to the billing, got the whole shot, and is checked out in his first photo of the week here in Motorsport. It was a year ago that Kitchen's story really began. He was a solid amateur rider, but all of a sudden he dominated in his B classes. Star Racing picked him up. Shout out to Preston Kilroy and the RM Army, the Bar X Chaparral running in second. And here's a battle for podium. That is Jet Reynolds on the Monster T3 Kawasaki. Now at one point Reynolds was the hottest property in amateur racing. He won 9 titles out of 10 shots over the course of 5 years at Loretta's. He was on the same ridiculous pace that James Stewart or Michael Leslie or Adam Cianciullo or Ricky Carmichael was on. The story is this simple for Reynolds. Injuries, injuries, injuries. It opened the door and allowed other riders to get confidence. I remember the first year that Reynolds missed, it was Nate Thrasher who took the win. And everyone anticipated, oh man, Reynolds was going to be back very angry the next year out for revenge. But he got hurt, up off the white, he got hurt again and didn't race the next year. All these riders have built confidence in his pride. He's trying to build his. It's not like a talent. He wasn't overhyped. He did not put in the effort or anything like that. It's simply the luck of the draw with injuries and timing. If you're Kitchen, he said he was never a guy that really trained all that hard, but he went to the real deal training facility, little help from the kingdom, and all of a sudden he went next level. Last year in the B class, he's rolled through the A class and all the big events. He's got the star ride. You saw him do 19 photo already at Redbud. And again, he's living up to the billing right here. As for Reynolds, he's the one now trying to rebuild himself. If you'd asked anyone about 4 years ago, they would have had 2021 circled as, oh man, by the time Reynolds is in the A class, get to the fences, because it's the next big thing. He still might be, but it just shows the fragility and the unpredictability of racing. He's still trying hard. But remember, just because you come out of here as the best A rider, as Kitchen is going to try to do, doesn't necessarily mean even that will translate to the pros. We're going to try to unpack all the nuances of this throughout the Weege shows. Brought to you by Race Tech and the Gold Valves. You know the suspension, what it can do for you. Plusher, better bottoming resistance, more traction, and all made and engineered in the USA. So we'll give you a little tour here of the ranch and give you more updates on how the ebbs and flows of the classes go. What I really feel bad for is those amateur talent scouts, the guys at Team Green or the folks at Star Racing. Geico Honda is no longer with us, but we've heard they're still Honda themselves, the factory team, are looking for talent. Nate Ramsey of the Orange Brigade. It's really hard work these days, figuring out who's going to stay in it, who's going to go to another level, how it's going to translate. It was a lot simpler back in the day when you just had Stewart Carmichael, who just won everything all the time. Now watch this on the far side of those hay bales. This is your battle for the lead in the B class. We just established that Levi made his name by winning B last year, right? Well, watch out for Gage Linville. On the last lap, he took the lead away in this 250B moto from Nick Romano. Romano on the 41 just got him back. Linville versus Romano. And here's why B is potentially up for grabs. Now, Romano was very good in this class last year, but he was young enough to return to the B division. Romano's won titles here before. He rides for Star Yamaha. He's an established player. But Ryder Di Francesco, remember him? He's a big name in the amateur ranks on a similar pace and profile to Jet Reynolds. He broke his femur this year, so he's not racing. So once again, we see that opportunity. A rider's got it rolling. He's got the Loretta's drill figured out. Everything's going his way. And then the injury opens the door for others. Could Gage Linville be the breakthrough rider of the week? And I'm trying to figure out why we have seen more of these B-class riders finding their stride after they were okay on mini cycles, but then going next level. Why is that happening more? And there's only two explanations I can come up with. A, the 4-stroke. I know everybody likes to complain about them, but it has really changed the game as far as we always knew the transition from a mini cycle to a big bike was a significant one. But it is an even more significant challenge when you consider now you're going from a 2-stroke mini cycle to a 4-stroke 250F. So maybe that upsets the order a little bit. And if you get hurt at the wrong time when that transition is happening, that doesn't help. Now, by the way, Kitchen's a pretty tall rider. A lot of the riders who've had that breakthrough all of a sudden when they go next level as a B rider, Riders like Aaron Plessinger, I remember Dean Wilson doing it. A lot of them are taller riders as well. So sometimes the taller riders really only find their stride when they get onto the big bike. Other thing, as Romano looks to have locked it down here in the last lap over Linville on the 40, another thing is the training facility. A generation or so ago, around 2004, up until then, we didn't have training facilities. So if you had a dad or parents that were gnarly and owned some land, and they just pushed harder and did more lap times than anybody else, that made a huge difference. Now, it's a very democratic process. Everybody has a chance. There's plenty of places. Gene Baker, what's up? There's plenty of places to go to get good tutelage from good people that are knowledgeable, to do motos all the time, and it gives a lot more riders opportunity to shine instead of whoever was discovered at age 8, which meant they got the better tutelage, the better training, a better place to ride. Well, now anybody can find that stuff if someone's willing to write the check. And it does lead to, I think, closer competition at the top of the pro ranks. No one is as dominant as they used to be. And other riders who you don't expect to pop up in the amateur ranks. I gotta record this podium here with Nick Romano. We'll be right back. So look, we could go on and on with examples. I remember Eli Tomac was really good as a mini cycle racer here, but all of a sudden when he jumped to the Honda 250F in the B class in Schoolboy 2, he went absolutely nuclear on the field, went next level, kind of paving the way to the unbelievable Eli Tomac performances that we saw throughout his pro career, like when he won his first pro race. So there are countless examples. Trey Kennard, good mini cycle rider. All of a sudden in the B class, he was able to beat Austin Stroop, who always had his number in minis, and then Trey Kennard went on to a great professional career. That B class is where the bump happens, and everybody loves the underdog stories so much. People love to talk about how Villopoto was beaten by Alessi here a lot, but in the pro ranks, Villopoto got the better of him. That Ryan Dungey wasn't a guy that people were necessarily saying was going to be a dominator, but he won a B title here, went on to great things. So if we extrapolate that, and we're probably over-analyzing it because it doesn't always work that way, but it leads to the next thing. If it is that difficult to go through the mini cycle ranks all the way through big bikes and pros, essentially undefeated, it leads to this question. So we got Hayden Deegan, who definitely has things dialed in. Saw him doing things in practice yesterday on a Super Mini that were unbelievable. And once you see Deegan doing well, it leads to the obvious question, well, who's the other rider that's trying to challenge him? It's Casey Cochran. So Casey Cochran in the number 66, Deegan in the 38. They had a great battle in their first moto. Deegan got the whole shot, led by about 3 seconds at the end of the first lap. Cochran got to the number 2 position, and it was a lap time battle for about 4 laps. They matched each other. Deegan ended up holding on. He had one lap, Cochran did, where Deegan really stretched it. Deegan wins by about 4.5 seconds. So that's it. That's Cochran in second. How do I solve this? How do I catch this guy? How do I get this guy? And Deegan on top. That's that overdog-underdog battle that we've been talking about so much, and that's what everybody's buzzing about now, because these would essentially be the guys who will be on 250S presumably in the future. Will it flip? Will it change? Will they even be battling each other? I don't think Villopoto thought that he'd be battling Ryan Dungey instead of Mike Alessi for the majority of his pro career. You never know. We've seen this script happen so many times. At this point, people want to be able to see it before it even actually happens. We'll see what actually turns out in this moto. Meanwhile, 1 second, I'm going to throw it over to Greenville. Got some information on a 2022 Kawasaki now for this class, Super Mini. The actual displacement limit is 112 cc, so they have rectified that by making a KX112. There's more of that bike. Yeah, if you want to celebrate the 40-year history of this event, it starts right here, Greenville. It was actually Team Green Kawasaki was the title sponsor when this event started. Team Green and Loretta Lynn both starting at the same time, 1982. They were the first on board. Now everybody, of course, supports this event. They always have a spot. The starting gate's on the other side. Kawasaki kind of synonymous with the event. So my buddy Ken Essex, you might remember our Weege Show where we did the tour of the Kawasaki Heritage Museum a year or so. Oh, okay. I got Kawasaki Green Vision now.
There you go.
So, Ken, you're pumped because you have a 112, which people that know Loretta's rules, they probably immediately know why. Yep. But some people are probably like, why would they make a KX 112?
Correct. So we jumped from the KX 100 up. The new AMA legal limit in the last couple of years for the Super Mini class has been up to 112 cc.
Right.
So the last few years, anyone that wanted to be competitive in the super mini class at this elite level of the Rettas was making their bike into reaching that limit.
So no one was going to bring 100 or 105 and leave 17 to 12 cc on the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now we're doing it every day. Every Kawasaki rider, Team Green rider that is going to race the super mini class now has the option to, right from the showroom floor, have their bike knowing it's right at the peak level of the class.
Okay, and there's a couple other changes. The KX85 actually shares. You guys have made some changes to the bike in general, not just a displacement.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So the big changes for this one is that engine. So you have a longer stroke, longer connecting rod, revised piston, intake and exhaust timing, all that good stuff that goes into making this 112 cc's, getting more low-end torque. And then we also revised the transmission, because if you're pushing out more power, you want to have everything reinforced. And so the 6-speed transmission has also been revised and strengthened.
Okay. To handle the power.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And the body work has changed too.
Yes.
It looks trick.
I mean, you see it. There's kids that are 12 years old and 16. That's a big jump, right?
Yes.
Size. They're growing, different growth spurts. So
in March when they race their area, they're one size, and by the time we get here, they're literally 3 inches taller. Exactly. Yes.
So we have our ErgoFit system. So the bars have 6 different options. You get different risers. They can give you 3 different heights, and then the bar position can be forward or back.
Okay.
So as you're changing in the same year or over multiple years, you can adjust your bar position to give you a little bit more leverage. As well as the bodywork has all been sleeked out, similar to our other bigger KX models. They give you a lot of room to move up and down. These kids are lanky and long. They're getting off the back of this thing at every cc. So you want to be able to have that. And it also generates a little more airflow into the radiators to keep it cool. So that's all new, and then you slap on some brand new Dunlop MX33s. Ready to go. Dunlop's top leading tire, and you've got a great package right from the showroom.
That was good times over there at the Team Green 10. It's really an alumni group over there. We got Ryan Filippoto. Yes, he's a Yamaha ambassador now, but he was hanging out over there with his old buddies at Kawasaki. You got his old buddy Jake Weimer. Weimer is actually coaching Chance Hymas, who's a Team Green rider now, who lives in Idaho like Weimer does. So they're working together. Ivan Tedesco is over there working with people. He's an alumnus of Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and Brock Tickle is a Kawasaki test rider now. So I've seen Weimer and Tedesco, Filippoto, Tickle all hanging out together. That's pretty fun. So good to see some of the old hands come back and hanging out at the ranch and working with some new riders as well. Those are the storylines we're setting up. Levi Kitchen did it in the B class last year. He got penalized actually. I think he ended up not getting credited for the moto win because he jumped with the red cross flag, but he had the speed. He won. He took the checker flag first. He is the guy that they're all trying to catch now in the A class, which I don't think people expected 53 weeks ago. So everybody's aiming for Kitchen now. Everyone's trying to figure out who this year's breakout rider in the B class could be. Could it be Gage Linville? Could it be Nicholas Romano? Could it be Caden Broswell, who led early on and crashed, who was very fast in his KTM in the B class? And then everyone looking at the next group, which would be Super Mini, guys like this, Deegan, Cochran. Keep track of those stories. We'll give you 2 more Weege shows throughout the week. It's the 40th anniversary of this, the Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Championship at Loretta's. See you soon.